is a disaster on any summer day. So this will make it easier and give the town the flexibility to deal with those situations that truly deserve a break. We have a lot more difficult time doing it. It's a lot harder for the public to negotiate in the court because it requires them to come over and we have to have a hearing, et cetera. So.
Okay, very good.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and you know, our security officers only write tickets when it's absolutely necessary, I guess would be the best way to put it. They do use discretion. They're not riding, they're not patrolling with the intent just to write tickets by any stretch of the imagination. But I do believe between the proposed changes in the code as well as the new system that we have approved in partnership with Passport, that it will streamline the process of adjudicating tickets, improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the process, and also improve the response time and increase the compliance rate, as has been mentioned. And from our calculations, it appears it'll definitely be revenue neutral because there will be somewhat of an additional cost with the new system, but we believe that will definitely be covered by an increase in revenue. And that increase in revenue is due to the compliance rate, not to more tickets being written. Okay. Very good. Any comments, questions off the bat? Okay. All right, we'll open it up for public comment. If you'd like to speak on this matter, please raise your hand. We'll ask that you come forward. State your name and address for the record, and please keep it to 5 minutes or less. Anybody like to speak on this matter? Okay. Any final comments, questions from the board at this point? Okay. Yeah, we've had a lot of back and forth, and then the agreement with Passport, that's been approved for a while now, so not a lot of new information tonight regarding this proposal, but we're moving it steadily forward, and we're now to the point where we're ready to put all of the planning into action, which is good. All right, very good. Pat, we do have several resolutions.
Can I just ask, will you be passing that tonight, or what's your plan on the proposed change? What's your anticipated plan?
Well, you want a chance to look at that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I would say next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, if you have any questions, email away.
Yeah, just in case there's something he has a question about. You know, I'd hate to pass it and then we'd have to come back and pass it.
I'll look here, that's fine.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem.
A resolution appointing David Alexander as a member of the Environmental Conservation Commission. Whereas a vacancy exists on the Environmental Conservation Commission, and whereas David Alexander, Berkshire Drive West of Clifton Park, has been recommended to fill the position, and whereas Mr. Alexander's presence on the Environmental Conservation Commission will confer a benefit to the town of Clifton Park, now therefore be resolved that David Alexander is hereby appointed to the Environmental Conservation Commission for the remainder of a 2-year term to expire December 31st, 2020. A resolution appointing Paula Cooper to the position of Planning Board Secretary for the town of Clifton Park. Whereas as of March 1st, 2019, a vacancy exists for the position of Planning Board Secretary with the resignation of Betsy Snyder from the position. And whereas Paula Cooper, old Loop 146, Clifton Park, is recommended by the Director of Planning to fill the vacant position, now therefore be resolved that Paula Cooper is hereby appointed Planning Board Secretary for the remainder of the 2019 calendar year. Be it further resolved that the position be compensated on an annual budget rate of $6,500 per year to be paid $250 per pay period. And be it further resolved, this appointment shall take effect immediately. A resolution authorizing the hiring of 2019 summer help for the Department of Buildings and Grounds. Whereas openings exist for seasonal work in the Buildings and Grounds Department, and whereas Daniel Clements Buildings and Grounds Superintendent has recommended that the individuals listed on Schedule A be hired to fill the positions as noted. Now therefore be resolved that the individuals listed on Schedule A are hired for seasonal work as assigned for buildings and grounds for the summer of 2019, effective immediately, to be paid as noted. A resolution awarding the bid for the preventive maintenance for town-owned buildings and facilities pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 103. Whereas the Department of Buildings and Grounds advertised bids for preventive maintenance service agreement for all town-owned buildings across all systems and for all makes and models of HVAC systems in use by the town. And whereas bids were open on March 4th, 2019, and whereas P&J Mechanical Corp. Craig Boulevard Rensselaer submitted the low bid of $13,448 annually for a 3-year term in response to the bid documents. And whereas Daniel Clemens recommends that the contract be awarded to P&J Mechanical as a low bidder, now therefore be resolved that the bid for the HVAC contract for the preventative maintenance of the HVAC systems in all town-owned buildings and facilities be awarded to P&J Mechanical, Craig Boulevard, Rensselaer on the basis of their bid in an amount not to exceed $40,344 for the term of the contract, and see it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to execute a contract with P&J Mechanical consistent with the bid documents for a term of up to 3 years, and be further resolved that the accounts on Schedule A be charged based on the allocation, and be further resolved that for succeeding years, if continued, shall have the appropriate funds included in each subsequent year's budget. A resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign a 63-month lease with EdNet Business Technology for an IN 600AF NeoPost mailing system for use by the Town Hall. Whereas Town Clerk Patricia O'Donnell has obtained quotes for digital mailing systems, and whereas the proposed cost for leasing the postal mailing system has been budgeted, and whereas the Town Clerk has recommended that the Town Board accept a quote from EdNet Business Technology of $134.93 per month, which includes the cost of the postal machine rental as well as maintenance, delivery, setup, and training. Now therefore be resolved that the Town Supervisor is authorized to enter into a 63-month lease with EdNet Business Technology for an IN 600AF NeoPost mailing system for use by the Town Hall at a cost not to exceed $134.93 per month, to be paid from Town Clerk Lease and Rentals. A resolution authorizing the Clifton Park Baseball League to use town roadways for their Clifton Park Baseball League for Cooperstown 5K road race. Whereas the Clifton Park Baseball League has requested the use of a portion of Clifton Common and the Town of Clifton Park roadways as specified in the attachment here too, for the purpose of holding their Clifton Park Baseball League for Cooperstown 5K road race on Sunday, April 13th, 2019 from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And whereas the event has the approval of the town's highway superintendent, the director of Parks and Recreation, the buildings and grounds supervisor, and the public safety director, and therefore be resolved that the town board hereby authorizes Clifton Park Baseball League to use a portion of Clifton Common and town roadways as specified in the attachment here too. This says April 14th, the other was April. I think April 14th is a Sunday, so that's April 14th, 2019 at 7 a.m. for the purpose of holding the Clifton Park Baseball League for Cooperstown 5K, and be further resolved that this approval is expressly conditioned upon receipt prior to April 13th, 2019 in the Office of the Highway Superintendent and the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs of an insurance certificate in the amount of $1 million, naming the town of Clifton Park as an additional insured, and be further resolved that this approval is expressly conditioned upon the roads not being closed, but members of the Clifton Park Baseball League are permitted to temporarily stop traffic at each end of the course in the event both a vehicle and race participant arrive at the same time. A resolution authorizing the hiring of Adventure Challenge facilitators and assistants per Schedule A, whereas the town board wishes to hire Adventure Challenge staff to conduct the 2019 Project Adventure Program within the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs. Now therefore be resolved that the individuals on the attached Schedule A are appointed to said positions effective April 1st, 2019 through October 31st, 2019 at the annual amounts listed on the schedule to be paid from facilitator and assistant. A resolution approving the 2019 salary matrix for Barney Road Golf Course employees. Whereas the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs has requested that the rates of pay be increased for the 2019 Clifton Park Golf Course staff matrix per Schedule A, and whereas the supervisor wishes to maintain pay rate increases similar to other seasonal 2019 Parks and Recreation staff matrices, now therefore be resolved that the town board hereby adopts the 2019 salary matrix for golf course staff per Schedule A. A Resolution hiring returning golf course supervisor in attendance for the Barney Road Golf Course for the 2019 season. Whereas the town board wishes to hire seasonal staff for the upcoming season at the Barney Road Golf Course. Whereas Marla Kramer, Director of the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs, has recommended that the individuals listed in the attached Schedule A be hired to fill the positions. Now therefore be resolved that authorization is hereby given to hire the individuals listed in the attached Schedule A as staff for the Barney Road Golf Course effective April 1st, 2019 through November 17th, 2019, at a salary as indicated on Schedule A.
That's it. Okay. Any questions on the resolutions? With that, if you would read the headings, and we'll consider each resolution individually.
Resolution number 67 of 2019, a resolution appointing David Alexander as a member of the Environmental Conservation Commission.
Second. Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen. Mr. Alexander's lived in town for a long time, and he stepped forward and expressed his interest in joining the ECC, and very happy to have him aboard. Okay, Pat?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Marlowitz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Resolution number 68 of 2019, a resolution appointing Paula Cooper to the position of Planning Board Secretary for the Town of Park.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Whalen, second by Ms. Smallwood. John?
Yes.
Is it your birthday today?
Yes,
It was yesterday.
Oh, it was yesterday. Well, happy
You want to
birthday.
say?
No, that's, we could. That's a good idea.
We do have a vacancy on the planning board, for planning board secretary. It's a very important position. We need somebody who can spend the time and attention to detail. And Betsy was doing a great job, but she is a soon-to-be grandmother, so she's going to be spending more time with the family. And I had the opportunity to interview Paula. She's a Clifton Park resident. I believe she's more than capable. She used to take minutes in California for an auction house, so if she can listen to an auctioneer, I think she'll be fine with Rocky.
Rocky talks almost as fast. All right. All right, very good. Any questions for John? Okay.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard? Yes. Councilman Marlowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 69 of 2019, a resolution authorizing the hiring of 2019 summer help for the Department of Buildings and Grounds.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen.
Yep, this is going to round out our summer help that we need. Colin is going to be working at the golf course with Fred and Rich. Braden's going to be working over at the Clifton Gardens Park District, doing some light work over there. He's a young kid. And Michael is going to be working with our main crew, probably out on the mowing crew.
Okay, very good. Questions for Dan? Okay, Pat?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Marlowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 70 of 2019, a resolution awarding the bid for the preventative maintenance for town-owned buildings and facilities pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 103.
So moved. Moved by Mr. Whalen, second by Mrs. Standard. Dan?
Yeah, a little more than a year ago, we started looking at our service agreement for all the heating and air conditioning equipment in the town. And we had a couple of different companies doing our service work, and further looking through, a couple buildings weren't even included on it. So we put it all together last year, and we saved probably over $2,800 just on the senior center service alone, and we added a bunch of buildings. This year we added a couple more buildings. We did get some new property and really did a real close look at it, and there are 17 buildings that are covered and over 75 heating and air conditioning units that are part of this agreement. We put the bid in the paper. 17 companies showed up on a mandatory pre-bid walkthrough, so it was very competitive. We had 7 bids, and our cost is going to be going down more than $10,000 a year for this service agreement.
I can't believe there was that many.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. Yep, absolutely.
I mean, obviously they knew what was entailed.
Right.
So I assume that they were all up to snuff as far as their abilities,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of names you would know: Danforth, Siemens, TBS, Eastern, Carrier. Yeah. So
This P&J that had the low bid, I called several of their references and spoke to school districts and some other building managers and gave high praise to the work that these guys do. They have a huge depth in their company of knowledge and skills, and they work on any type of equipment, which is handy for us because we do have a big variety of brands of equipment and types, from just your average like household type furnace to that chiller and tower over at the ice arena.
Right.
There's a big variety of stuff. I think they're going to be, I'm excited to work with them.
All right, great. No, it's definitely been an area we've been able to save some money the last couple of years, so good job.
Thank you.
All right, any questions for Dan? Okay, Pat?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Marlowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 71 of 2019, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign a 63-month lease with EdNet Business Technology for an IN 608F NeoPost mailing system for use by the town hall.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen. 63 months. Yes. That's an odd amount of months, isn't it?
5 years, right?
Yeah,
5
5 plus. All right, very good. Any questions for Pat? Okay, Pat.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard? Yes. Councilman Marlowitz? Supervisor Barrett?
Yes. Gonna put you on the spot.
There we go. Resolution number 72 of 2019, the resolution authorizing the Clifton Park Baseball League to use town roadways for their Clifton Park Baseball League for Cooperstown 5K road race.
So moved by Mr. Whalen, second by Ms. Swallowit. This is a new event. This is before soccer starts, so it does not interfere with that activity, which is rather busy on a weekend. Tell us a little more about this, Myla.
Well, the Clifton Park Baseball League, the group that is going to Cooperstown, is looking to do some fundraising before, so lessen the price for each of the kids that are going. Last year, working with Buildings and Grounds, Highway, and Lou with Safety, put together a form that would be more concise in making sure that all the information for these new runs or anything else that's going to happen large on the common, that everyone was involved. So each of the department heads reviewed it. Some departments, they all approved it. Some departments have some costs associated, and the folks with Clifton Park Baseball were okay with that. And they're looking forward to getting the information out. The event is a month away. So they're hoping for an approval tonight.
Very good. And yeah, when it comes to 5Ks, once they stray from the common and start going on main roads or neighborhoods, there's always a public safety concern associated with that. So we'll have personnel helping them with that part of the equation. But we wish them a lot of luck. There's a chance in early to mid-April it could be a little chilly. But like I said, to do an event like this and on or around the common, it's important that it be done before a lot of the activities begin on the common in earnest. Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay, so we wish them best of luck. It is an expensive trip, I know, for the kids to go to Cooperstown. It's a great experience. Did you go to Cooperstown?
I did.
You did? Tell us about it. How was it?
Great experience.
Yeah?
Good week with the guys, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, because you go for several days, right?
Whole week, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a cool experience, but, obviously it can be very expensive for a family, so any money that they can raise to offset that cost is very important to the participants. All right, very good. Pat?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Marlowitz? Yes. Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 73 of 2019, a resolution authorizing the hiring of Adventure Challenge facilitators and assistants per Schedule A.
Second. Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen. As we discussed at a recent meeting, great to have Larry back, and we have some other returning names, so some good experience.
Yes, and Patrick Gerstenberger is coming back to run our camps this year. This is the second year that being overseen by Larry, but Patrick is running them. He's added a few new camps. There's an advanced program that he wanted to try out, and there's also an opportunity for older kids who've done the program before to be learning how to be an aide, so they could maybe at some point also be an assistant or a facilitator. But we've had some great people over the years, and they are still available for when businesses might come in to do some team building. Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops come in, any type of team building and self-confidence, self-awareness programs. We have a lot of great people who can work for us.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun experience. All right, great. Any questions on the Project Adventure staff? Seeing none, Pat?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Malowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barry?
Yes.
Resolution number 74 of 2019, a resolution approving the 2019 salary matrix for Barney Road golf course employees.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen. So these pay rates reflect an increase as we have with the other seasonal employees that we hire for camps, pools, and the like. And as we discussed before, the total increase in the seasonal pay this year, just this year alone, will be in the neighborhood of $60,000 for the town. So, big number. Okay. Discussion. Questions? Okay, Beth?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Malowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barry?
Yes.
Resolution number 75 of 2019, a resolution hiring returning golf course supervisor and attendants for the Barney Road Golf Course for the 2019 season.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen. We have a good experienced group coming back, and won't be open for too long. The climate hasn't changed yet, so
Hopefully this
we're not ready to open yet.
Yeah, we do have, we do expect to have one position open at the golf course still. And we have a number of applicants for that we'll be interviewing. But we have a lot of very experienced people. They're terrific. The snow just has to melt
Yeah.
at some point soon, hopefully.
Well, it's going to be a little warmer. I think it's Thursday, but it's supposed to rain, so that doesn't help the course dry. That's for sure. All right. Pat?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard? Yes. Councilman Malowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barry?
Yes. Any other business to come before the board this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to public privilege. If you'd like to speak on a town matter, please raise your hand. We'll ask that you come forward. State your name and address for the record, and please keep it to 5 minutes or less. Any takers this evening? Glenn? No? All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard? Yes. Councilman Malowitz? Supervisor Barry?
Yes, thank you.